Matt Walsh talks about anti-racism and about his viral new movie. Thank you guys so much for watching Bring the Asteroid. Make sure you like today's video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll get right into it.
A year ago, I began filming my new movie, Am I Racist? The goal of the movie was to go deep undercover into the world of DEI and show how bad the problem really is. There'll be some moments in the movie that just seem too crazy to be real, but I assure you it is all real and it has been a real problem for a while. To prove to you how big of an issue DEI is, I wanted to take you on a trip down memory lane of some recent real-world examples of anti-white racism. But before we do that, check out the trailer for Am I Racist? Visit amирacist.com to check out showings and buy tickets at a theater near you. Now enjoy the trailer.
Republicans are Nazis. You cannot separate yourselves from the bad white people.
Growing up, I never thought much about race. It never really seemed to matter that much, at least not to me. Am I racist?
I would really appreciate it if you
I'm trying to learn. I'm on this journey.
If I'm going to sort this out, I need to go deeper undercover.
They gon' say I'm racist.
Joining us now is Matt, certified DEI expert.
Here's my certification. And what you're doing is you're stretching out of your whiteness. This is more for you in this field. Is America inherently racist?
The word inherent is challenging
I
there.
want to rename the George Washington Monument to the George Floyd Monument.
America is racist to its bones.
So inherently.
Yeah, this country is a piece of
White.
folks.
White.
Trash. White supremacy. White woman. White boy.
Is there a black person around? There's a black person right here. Does he not
They gon'
exist?
say I'm racist.
Hi, Robin.
Hi. What's your name?
I'm Matt.
Just had to ask who you are because you have to be careful.
Never be too careful.
They gon' say
Oh
I'm
my
racist.
god.
In theaters now. Rated PG-13.
Last night, somebody sent me an email that had recently gone out to students at Grand Valley State University in Michigan. The email was meant to inform them about the 5 upcoming graduation celebrations, which would be held as a complement to the commencement ceremony. Now, 5 celebrations might seem a little bit excessive. If you've ever been to a graduation, then you know that 1 is already a little bit too much as it is. But there's a reason why this
True.
school has decided to have 5, as they explained in their email. Reading out says, Dear Laker graduates, Grand Valley hosts 5 unique graduation celebrations annually, designed to honor our diverse graduates. These programs complement the university commencement ceremonies and are an opportunity to come together and acknowledge Laker accomplishments in the spirit and traditions of our diverse identities and cultures. And here are the 5 events. It says, Asian graduation celebration, April 19th. Black graduation celebration, April 28th. Latino/A/X graduation celebration, April 28th. Side note, no Hispanic person actually wants to be called Latinx, but rather than simply abandon that silliness entirely, this is apparently what they've settled on. Now Latino people are Latino/A/X. So they've improved on Latinx, which sounded clunky and ridiculous, by coming up with an alternative that is even clunkier and more ridiculous. Okay, back to the segregated graduations. It says Lavender graduation, celebrating LGBTQIA+ graduates, April 20th. Native graduation celebration, April 27th. Side note again, there is a typo here actually, because it actually says lavender gradation. Gradation as in a series of successive changes made by degrees or in phases over time, much like you would find on, say, a slippery slope. So this typo is the most insightful thing this university has produced in its entire existence, probably, even if it was by accident. So these are the graduation celebrations, or gradation celebrations, however you want to put it, broken up by identity group. Now, needless to say, there will be no special event for straight white people. They will have to make do with the commencement ceremony that everybody else gets.
Of course not, because if you're white, you can't celebrate being white. It's not allowed, and especially not if you're straight. Oh my gosh, the worst.
They're not going to get their own special event. But Grand Valley is far from alone with their segregation policies when it comes to graduations. This has become an increasingly common practice. Just a couple of weeks ago, there was controversy over a segregated black graduation ceremony at the University of Chicago. The Daily Mail had that reported, said, quote, a leaked email obtained by University of Chicago law student Benjamin Ogilvy unmasked the previously under wraps event, with Ogilvy penning a piece for the College Fix to share the email's contents. Quote, Black Action in Public Policy Studies is hosting a graduation ceremony for all University of Chicago black graduate students on June 1st, the email stated, according to Ogilvy. Leaked on Tuesday, the email reportedly touted the event as the culmination of the black student experience at the Illinois school and is already sparking heated discourse as to whether or not the event serves as segregation. Now, a spokesperson for the school was quoted later in the article, and they did respond to a request for comment, arguing that the black graduation, though it is a ceremony being held for black people and is advertised as such, is not explicitly black only. And so that's how they get around any legal challenges. Anyone can come if they want to, technically. And the fact that whites won't be chased away at gunpoint, not as an official policy anyway, is supposed to make this all okay. And yet I have a sneaking suspicion that the University of Chicago would not allow a white graduation ceremony, even if blacks were technically allowed to attend.
Yeah, I would agree with him.
The logic, as always, only goes one way. The same applies at Harvard, where Harvard's Office of Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging helps to organize graduation ceremonies for, quote, first-generation BGLTQ Black and Latinx students. And they've also added a special ceremony this year for Asian American, Pacific Islander, and Desi American graduates. Columbia University, meanwhile, adds another category. That school has special ceremonies for Black, LGBTQ, Native, Latinx, and Asian graduates, just like we saw with Grand Valley. But they've also added a sixth category for low-income individuals. Because it is, of course, important to have proper representation for all of those impoverished people who are graduating from an Ivy League school. The low-income celebration will be very interesting because there won't be anyone there except the catering staff, I guess. So this is the country we live in now. Segregation has long since made a comeback. These policies can be put in place. They can be advocated for, and most of the time without even the slightest pushback. That is, as long as you advocate for them from a socially acceptable angle.
Exactly.
So take this recent clip of white fragility author Robin DiAngelo claiming that black people need to, quote, get away from white people. Listen.
I'm a big believer in affinity space and affinity work. And I think people of color need to get away from white people and have some community with each other. And I'll let that go and maybe see if anyone else wants to pick it up.
Yes, get away, she says. Get away.
Imagine if a white person said that.
One racial group needs to get away from the other. Now, if this sentiment sounds familiar, it's probably because Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert, said exactly the same thing, almost verbatim, with one slight difference. Let's listen to that again.
Based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the away.
Based?
Wherever you have to go, just get away. Because there's no fixing this. This can't be fixed. Right? This can't be fixed. You just have to escape.
So it is, as I said, exactly the same idea, using almost identical language. The difference is that Scott Adams lost everything, his career, his reputation, distribution of his comic strip. He had his life destroyed for saying what you just heard there. Meanwhile, Robin DiAngelo has suffered no repercussions at all. It's not that DiAngelo has experienced a less intense backlash or less severe professional consequences. It's that there has been no backlash, no consequence. And that's all because, though they both were advocating for the same thing, DiAngelo said that blacks need to get away from whites, while Adams said that whites need to get away from blacks.
And that's it, guys. That is it. That pretty much sums up racism in America today. Blacks can say that they need to get away from whites, but whites are not allowed to say that they need to get away from blacks. That's the truth. It's disgusting. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.